If you want to see my live SoFi wheel strategy results and why I'm running SoFi on a weekly basis, today's video is for you. Yo, what is going on, premium chasers? I hope you're having a God blessed day. Today, every single person that comments down below is going to get our option sellers premium checklist. This is perfect for those of you that are just getting into selling options, have small accounts, and you just want to make sure you cross your T's and you dot your I's. So if you want that full checklist, just drop a comment down below on today's video. I'll personally respond to you with it. And while you're down there, do me a big favor, hit that like button, that subscribe button. But guys, today we're going to be talking about SoFi because of course we don't talk about it enough, right? I'm going to show you guys the results so far of my weekly SoFi wheel and what my plan is moving forward, because we already know SoFi is absolutely running right now. So we could see I have a 17.5 call on SoFi right now, and SoFi is currently trading at $20.94, having a little bit of a pullback today. It's hard to even say that a 1% is a pullback in this kind of market. So it's nice to see that a little bit of red coming in from SoFi. I do believe we are still in a bit of an earnings pop. We do have earnings coming up here in the next 2 weeks here for SoFi on the 29th before open, which is going to be big, right? And I'm going to talk about in just a few minutes exactly what I think these earnings are going to mean for SoFi. We can see SoFi on the Bollinger Band is trading still well above that Bollinger Band until today, where it kind of dropped down below under that $20 price range. And we're going to see what happens. So right now you can see that my covered call is at 17.5. So it's very deep in the money covered call right now that I have on SoFi, right? As far as what our results are actually looking like so far, I'm going to bring up my another screen here in just a moment and show you guys kind of where we are at with our premium collection so far here on SoFi. So let me just grab this real quick. Sorry guys, I have another screen here, and also all these calculators I'm about to show you and stuff, guys, they are completely for free on our Facebook group. Join us. It's such a fun time. The link will be in the description of today's video if you guys want to grab that. So where we are currently, where we are currently at with SoFi right now is we have our 8/1 expiration. Now, Pete, you're like, Pete, you clickbait. You said you're doing the weekly SoFi wheel, blah, 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 blah. Listen, sometimes you get put into these crazy situations, and I hope that kind of that little bit of transparency that I can show here, guys, on this channel actually helps you. If you didn't watch those other videos, all good. But basically, I had to roll this thing out to the first so I can lock in potentially some more appreciation. Originally, I bought 100 shares of SoFi at $16.50 and then was doing the $17 covered call on it. But of course, SoFi started doing its crazy run on me, and then I did the 17.50s. Do I plan to roll again? Only time will tell. We're going to see what this week brings. If we continue to run, I most likely will roll a little bit. But let's kind of just take a step back and talk about the weekly wheel strategy with SoFi and kind of what my plan is. So the easiest way to do this and show for me to show you guys this is with Robinhood. I primarily love Fidelity because I earn interest on my cash secured put premiums, but visually I can definitely see why Robinhood is great for a beginner. So I'm just going to go over to SoFi here real quick, right? And there's two ways you can run this, okay? Number one, you can go out there and buy 100 shares of SoFi right out of the gate. Absolutely not a problem. You can do that, right? And then you can immediately do covered calls. More on that in a moment. But the second thing that you could do is sell a cash secured put. Now, when we sell a cash secured put, basically what we're saying is we're willing to buy 100 shares of the stock that we selected on a specific date. So for example, if I just go out 11 days here, I'm basically saying, hey, right, on July 25th, I'm willing to buy 100 shares of SoFi at a price that I choose. Currently trading at 21, right? But if it hits, let's say, in 11 days, 19, I'm totally cool buying those 100 shares. Now, I always like to toss everything into my covered call or my cash secured put calculator. Again, it's free. You can download it for yourself. You can see I'm collecting $19 of premium here. Man, these premiums are awful right now. And I'm going to explain to you why here in a second, guys. I'm going to explain that to you here in a second. That's going to lock $1,900 of our collateral up, right? Because every options contract, we got a 1% return on our money in 11 days, right? And obviously, if we open a multiple contract, it's just assuming 2. That's what your cash secured put would look like, all right? Let me put 11 days for our expiration here, right? Annually, it looks obviously decent, but for a more higher risk stock like SoFi, it's just crazy. Why are we seeing such low premiums right now on cash secured puts, right? And what do we do when we see such low premiums on cash secured puts? Well, number one, one, the setup is awful. All right. The setup is absolutely terrible right now for cash secured puts on SoFi. Why? Because we are trading at the top of this Bollinger Band. This is the time to do covered calls. Let me show you what I mean, right? So coming back here onto the options chain, let's assume you do have 100 shares of SoFi, right? And you want to lock in some gains, right? What does retail do? Well, they're like, okay, I bought 100 shares at, let's say, $19. I'll just go out there and sell them for 21 because that's what SoFi is trading right now. They'll lock in, their few $100s and move on with their lives. But here's the better way to do it on a weekly basis, okay? So right here, I'm now going to flip from selling a put to selling a call. Now I'm not locking up my collateral no more. I'm locking up 100 shares instead, saying I'm willing to sell them, right? So for example, right, it's currently trading at $21, right? Let's say we're cool selling at $22. Well, for that, look at that, in 11 days, $50 in premium we're collecting. Coming back over to our covered call calculator. Again, all these are free inside the Facebook group. Join us. Link will be in the description. $50 of premium, right? Our strike of the option. That's what we're willing to sell our 100 shares of SoFi at. That, what we said, 22. We said you bought them for around 19, let's say, your 100 shares. Premium return 2.63%. Obviously, educational example only. These premiums are only what I see at the time of me recording this, not financial advice. Results vary. All right. But with that said, how do I get this premium return? Very simple. I divide the premium, $50 that I'm collecting up front, and I'm dividing that by $1,900, okay? Because that's basically your collateral. That's the way I like to look at it with my simple brain. I'm sure some of you look at it more complex. Listen, if it's complex, it ain't for me, right? If I end up selling my shares, I'm going to make $300 of profit. Total profit on my covered call here is $350, right? So making $300 plus 50. But full disclosure, let's talk about that real quick, right? So if 11 days from now, SoFi is trading, let's say at $20 still, just going sideways, your contract would expire worthless. You wouldn't end up having to sell your shares. You just walk away with that $50 in premium that you collected, right? So if the biggest risk, if it is trading at 22 or above at close on the 25th, all right, let's say this thing keeps skyrocketing. 11 days from now, SoFi is at $30. What is this world coming to, right? You're selling your 100 shares at $22. So that's the biggest risk of doing the covered call. You're going to miss out on all that upside. What do I, like for me, what do? I treat option selling like a business. I have a buy and hold portfolio. I have high yield savings account. I do T-bills, any leftover cash, I'm putting it into selling options and forcing myself to create active income, meaning I don't care if I miss out on upside. Did I make a profitable trade and make money? Fantastic. Your boy's sleeping great at night. This all comes down to what kind of targets you're going for and your risk tolerances, which you're going to have to figure out yourself, right? For me, right, I have very specific premium targets that I want to go on my collateral and on my shares. So if I hit those, I'm fine locking in gains and moving on with my life, right? Like that's how I treat options. I treat it like a business. I know that's so different than what most of you think. I speak to a lot of people in this space and they're like, oh, you're missing out on all this upside. I'm not, right? Because I have a buy and hold portfolio that I'm buying, holding shares, right? I do not care if I miss out on some upside because guess what? This is the stock market and I will find someplace else to put my money to make gains. So how am I playing right now with our SoFi? So obviously we could see here that I have a current cover call in for $17.50, right? I collected $233 of premium on that. Now, big if I had to buy to close my $17 call of $213, right? So I netted about a little over $15 of premium here on this, but that was good for me. I like that trade, right? How did I decide to do this trade? Well, I always look at what my appreciation is going to be. I have fully come to terms that I'm going to be selling my SoFi shares. And I don't think by August 1st, SoFi is going to drop back down to 1750, if under 1750. If it does, fantastic, baby. I'm happy with that because then I don't have to sell my shares. I have my shares that I bought at 1609 average cost basis, right? 1609 here on my SoFi shares, right? And I'm cool then doing covered calls, right? I'll just keep doing my weekly covered calls and trying to sell them at like 17 or something like that. Or it really depends, right? That's why I'm kind of like documenting this $5,000 portfolio that I started with here on the channel and just showing you guys what we're doing. We're probably going to light it all on fire. It's going to be fantastic, right? Join, make sure you're subscribed for all that goodness, right? But in all jokes aside, right? I looked at what my total return is going to be. Right? Okay, like this is like I can't like some of you complicate this for yourself so much. Is even though I might push out my date, am I still hitting my return on my collateral that I wanted, even if I'm extending time? In this case, yes, right? I'm doing a 23, I'm getting almost 24% if I sell these shares, right? For my small account, that is fantastic. Fantastic, and not going to complain about it whatsoever, okay? Even if I had to extend this almost, when I opened this trade, just a little bit over a month time, or just about under 2 months, that's still fine by me, because that is still exceeding my expectations if I divide this by 2 months of 10% a month. Listen, I'm not here to, you can go somewhere else where you want insane income claims or earnings claims or whatever, and somebody's telling you they're going to make you 30% a month. Sure, go ahead. For me, this is already extremely, extremely good trade, and I'm totally cool locking in those gains. Totally fine locking in those gains. That's like the thing that, like, for me, I think was the biggest mindset shift as a trader, is I went from like, oh my God, I'm so scared to sell these shares. If you're like that scared to sell your shares, put them in your buy and hold portfolio. But like literally, like, dude, like just think of your option selling as like, hey, what's my mission here? To not lose money? How do I not lose money, right? How do we not lose money in the markets, right? We lock in gains, right? Because we've seen it in this market, even like Nvidia, right? When it dropped in April, right? Like you could have sold like a couple of weeks before that, locked in gains, rode it on the bottom, kept buying shares or doing your cash secure puts and taking assignment, and now reaping the benefits. That is, option selling forces you to buy lower than market value and then sell over market value. I can't stress it enough. Guys, if you want to learn more about the ARC option strategy, where we combine all of this and more into a very simple, repeatable option strategy that truly, once you get the hang of it, really doesn't take you more than, like, honestly, an hour a week, if that, like literally if that, since we only do a couple trades a month, right? Unless you really want to be into it, sure, you can do as much as you want. But if you want to learn more about that and join an incredible community of option sellers doing this day in and day out that are not toxic, are all financially stable and level-headed individuals, and that sounds like somebody that you are, click the first link in the description of today's video to learn more about that. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.